Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Welcome everybody back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I am your host, Adam Cousins, and this is the AEW Dynamite review show. Dynamite this week had on tap Carl Fletcher versus Kenny Omega. We had the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal and Jay White versus Penta and Miedo. And that is where Dynamite kicks us off this week with Penta and Miedo taking on Jay White. What an amazing match this was. A great way to kick off a show, kick it off hot with some amazing action. Dynamite certainly done that this week. There was some crazy chops in this. There was back and forth, brutal moves. There was a fireman's carry by Penta into a spinning reverse DDT. There was a high angle Uranagi from Jay White, a brain buster. There was everything in this. Finally, the Arse Boys distract Penta, and the left hand of God by Juice goes into the Blade Runner, and Jay White picks up the victory. Not a surprise, really, that Jay White won this match. His momentum going into a match with MJF at Full Gear, so he does need to be booked really strongly as a believable competitor, even though we all know how believable he actually really is. But nevertheless, a great win from Jay White. Certainly one of the wrestlers of the year in AEW. For 2023. Penta Miedo, no slouch this year as well. Fantastic wrestler he's been. What a great opening contest that was. And it pretty much set the tone for the evening on this. I wish it could have gone longer as well. I say that quite a lot, really. And anyway, after the match, Jay White grabs the microphone and says that he is the real world champion. MJF isn't here. And White says MJ isn't able to find anyone to take him up on the 8-man tag. But Juice Robinson will win the Dynamite Diamond Ring tonight on the Battle Royal. And it will also be, if MJF is here, he's in the back, and he says if Juice wins tonight, it'll be a left hand of God versus a right hand of the devil. It doesn't stop Max Caster trying to get in to help MJF. It's still a no. Daddy Arse is like, you're trying too hard. But nevertheless, it could well be, we could well be seeing very soon Juice Robinson versus MJF, which would be an interesting match, to say the least. Next on the list, Hikaru, Shida, Emi Sakura, student versus teacher in this one, which is always a good contest. I felt like this was very short. There was some awkward spots in there, little bits and pieces, but it was hard, very hard hitting, albeit awkward in some areas, which made it actually the Shida struggle to win the match actually really good. So there was kind of elements into it, which sometimes the awkwardness makes that struggle, which makes the match better. Nevertheless, in fairly short match, which Shida picked up the victory on this. So I've got a feeling perhaps the first match went a little long. But nevertheless, good win for Shida, and she moves on. We'll find out who her next opponent is. Adam Copeland at this point is sitting down with Renee Paquette, sorry. Adam's mentioning that he doesn't actually know what's going on with Christian. He's got a lifelong relationship. He always felt the need to motivate Christian, open doors for him, and he believes that Christian resents him for that. He doesn't want Christian's TNT title. He doesn't want to fight Christian. And what he does know is that he will be there for when Christian is left high and dry from Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus. I gather eventually we're probably going to get Christian and Copeland one-on-one. Longer term, we're going to get the reunite of Edge and Christian, or Copeland and Christian in this case, whether that will be as a heel team or as a face team. There's a lot of unfinished business, both from a singles aspect and a tag team aspect, that I think Copeland wants to get in his next few years done, so that he can retire with Jay or Christian and have fought on some of the top guys like FTR, the Young Bucks, even maybe another match with the Hardys, Lucha Brothers and people like that. So they've really got a lot tag team and single action really still to do. Copeland has got some amazing single matches you could put in there. I mean, we got Adam Page, Ricky Starks, Danielson, Samoa Joe, MJF. So there's a lot for Copeland to try and compress into whatever contract he's got with AEW. But it really bodes well for the future that he's going to be there and wanting to do that. The next match, Wardlow versus Ryan Nemeth. This is a Wardlow match. Squeeze head, power bomb, ref stops it. Ref stops the match. Wardlow wins. Wardlow's talking to Tony Schiavone, and he's back for one reason. And on his wrist tape had the letters MJF. So it's another challenger from MJF, Samoa Joe, Jay White, Bullet Club Gold, and now potentially Wardlow. The thing is of Wardlow is if you've watched AEW long enough, you'll know this is the kind of Wardlow process. Win, 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 has a big match, loses, and is forgotten about. So I'm still not brought into this whole Wardlow championship potential or whatever he's going to do. And only time will tell if Wardlow is going to be taken seriously. They've got it right with Hobbs. Eventually, they've got it right with Hobbs. Put him in the Don Callis family. Great way to sort of push him up the ladder a bit more and believability. And he's not losing matches, which is a key point of a big guy. You can't really lose a lot, and if you lose, you have to lose strongly. Don't think Wardlow has done that. So we'll see. Jury's still out for me on the Wardlow run or the next Wardlow run. We've had about 3 of them already and they've all gone to pot. So hopefully AEW, they're kind of getting it right with him. They've got it spot on with Joe. So let's see what happens with Wardlow. Backstage was Kenny Omega. Says he's the measuring stick for the people. MJF comes in, shakes his hand and says 13 days, bitch. So MJF has made another enemy, as in 13 days' time, he overtakes Kenny Omega's role as the longest reign, or Kenny Omega's reign as one of the longest reigning AEW champions. Does that mean we're going to get an Omega MJF match squashed in between that time? Or is it going to be on the last day we're going to get an Omega MJF match, which will be absolutely outstanding? Don Callis is in the ring with Hobbs. Runs down Carl Fletcher, basically says that he's the weak link of this team. Carl Fletcher comes out and says, look, I want an opportunity, give me a chance. And he said, beat Kenny Omega and we'll give you the opportunity. Well, this match, I mean, we thought the first match was good. This match is even better. Kenny Omega, Carl Fletcher absolutely killed it in this. Carl Fletcher, 24 years old, definitely the future. One of the futures. You've got Ospreay with him as well as United Empire. He's running singly at the minute due to Mark Davis's injury. This match was tremendous. You had a Yukon escape. You had V triggers after V triggers. He was getting out of the one win angel and locked in a dragon sleeper, which was fantastic. And then Omega rolled through that for a 2. Super kick at point of Fletcher, but then a double rope running V trigger turned Fletcher inside out and a one-winged angel for Kenny Omega picked up the win. But Carl Fletcher in this match showed that he can be as good as Omega. He could be as good as Ospreay. He is definitely the future, one of the future pillars of AEW. There is so many great guys at AEW now. It's all about making sure that they're booked correctly. They can lose matches, but losing it like this doesn't hurt Carl at all. When you take on someone like Kenny Omega and you have put in a great match, you're unlucky not to pick up the victory. So in that case, booking him like that and then picking up wins along the way will put him in good stead for the future. But my goodness, if you're going to watch any matches this week, you watch that match for certain. There's going to be a great match on Rampage, Mystico and Rocky Romero, that I'm really looking forward to. And I will be reviewing Rampage. This week, Dave and Parker will be hitting up Collision. They'll do an overall review of Dynamite Battle of the Belts as well. But I'll also be reviewing Battle of the Belts, so you get me for so many podcasts. I hope you are okay with that. And if not, tough. Danhausen video is showing. He's obviously on his way back. We then get an interview with Sting, as Tony Schiavone would say. Sting comes out and basically says, in a long story short, he's done a lot of things in his time. And the one thing for sure about Sting is retirement is for sure. Sting will be retiring at the Revolution pay-per-view in 2024. And that will bring to the end one of the most decorated wrestlers' careers in wrestling. I remember Sting growing up. He, larger than life. He was Surfer Sting. At that point, he was a tag team with the Ultimate Warrior. Surfer Sting. We had Crow Sting. We had Joker Sting. All different reincarnations of Sting. A man that deserves to go out on a high. Who's the opponent going to be? There's been rumors of Darby Allin. There's also been a rumor that Ric Flair will be Sting's last match. I really hope it's not Ric Flair. We've seen that match about 4 billion times. So let's just hope that it's a match. I think Sting will want to put some younger talent over, where Darby Allin, that could be where he comes in. Could he even put in a Nick Wayne over or a Hook? Who knows? But we'll see. But it will bring a curtain down on a wonderful career. Someone that deserves to go out on his own esteem for sure. And we look forward to that. And all the best for Sting. Tony Storm's Gone with the Storm is coming up with RJC. Tony Storm, one of the best characters in wrestling at the minute. Christian's one of the best heels, and I'll get to that. Tony Storm right now, character change, Marilyn Monroe-esque, and has nailed it to a T. She's absolutely fantastic. I love this version of Tony Storm. Maybe she should have won the Women's Championship and not Shida, but ultimately they went with Shida. But I think there's another run coming very soon for timeless Tony Storm. Anyway, chin up, tits out, and let's look forward to the next bit, which was the Nick Wayne interview with Jim Ross and his mum. As you can imagine, Christian gets involved. His real dad is here. He should have, he tells his mummy, that Mama Wayne, that she should have picked up the phone. She's a terrible mother. She slaps him in the face. But as they go to leave, Darby Allin jumps both Wayne and Christian. The fight spills out onto the ramp. Luchasaurus is there. He throws Darby out the ramp. Sting makes the save, goes to lock in the Scorpion Deathlock, and they pull Luchasaurus out of the way. And as I just said, Christian, amazing. Amazing heel, one of the best heels in the business right now, on the run of his life, in my opinion, and long may it continue. MJF joins the commentary for the main event, as it's a Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. Johnny TV, Trent Beretta, the Hardy Boys, Daniel Garcia, Dustin Rhodes, Commander, Juice Robinson, Jake Hager, Matt Menard, Matt Sydal, Max Caster. I think I've all got that all right. They're all in there. Sydal and Johnny TV get eliminated very, very quickly and very early on. To save some time here, there was a bit where MJF pays a few $100s to Dustin Rhodes to hit Shattered Dreams on Juice Robinson, which was quite hilarious. There was bits there where there was a running destroyer actually by Dustin Rhodes at this bit. Rose and Trent sent Jake Hager out. Trent pulls Menard to the apron, and they chop each other. Garcia saves Menard as Trent gets eliminated. Garcia dumps Jeff Hardy after a twist of fate. Garcia actually dropped Menard out of the Rumble, and Dustin and Jeff in succession before hitting his dance moves. Caster then threw out Garcia from behind. It was down to Max Caster and Juice Robinson, and unfortunately, Juice Robinson hits it with the left hand of Juice, with the ring on his hand, and Caster gets tossed out of the ring, and Juice Robinson won that match, and he's now the Dynamite ring, and Caster can't quite get the job done for MJF, so we don't know whether that's going to put in any stance later on. Really good episode of Dynamite. Got the fundamentals right, started it hot, finished it with the Bullet Club gold, holding the gold of the Dynamite Diamond Ring. But guys, this has been the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I have been your host, Adam Cousins. There's going to be a hell of a lot more content dropping every day as we move into the final part of the week. Me and Andy will be doing a SmackDown review at some point. Dave and Parker will be doing the Collision review. Guys, I am off to Progress Wrestling this weekend. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Impact Wrestling if you're watching Bound for Glory as well. I think there's a big announcement coming from there, which I'm going to be interested to see what that is. But until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.